Clerk, please call the roll.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Here.
Freeholder Gans. Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Here.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Here.
Freeholder Voss.
Here.
Freeholder Zur.
Here.
Chairman Sullivan.
Here. Evidence of a quorum is present. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I would ask Councilwoman Glogler to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk read the minutes to be accepted?
Minutes to be accepted are April 18th, work session, Chairman Sullivan absent. April 18th, public session, all present. April 21st, work session, all present.
May I have a motion to accept the minutes? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Before we begin tonight's meeting, we have two presentations. First, we will present a commendation to Michelle Hart Laughlin, who is the Director of the Bergen County Mental Health, in honor of the Freeholder Board recognizing May as Mental Health Month in Resolution 42918. This is for everybody?
She wants to speak.
Let her speak.
What do you want me to do with this?
Your choice.
How are you? Thank you. We have proclamations. I'd ask that the Freeholder Board come down and join me as we present these. I think we have individual ones, right? Sure. Will the members of the Mental Health Board come up as well, please? What? Okay, so who are these going to?
Just people standing in the front, if they have stuff to hold, if they don't have a sign. Yeah.
So. Pull up. So the Freeholder Board would like to recognize everything you do, and we know that with you, with all of you, we're okay. Because you guys really, guys and girls, give everything you have and really promote what we're doing here in the county. And you're a wonderful leader, and we really appreciate the whole board. Thank you very much. You have something you want to say?
I do, but I'll read it. I just, before I read the statements that were provided to us by some families, I just wanted to thank all of you, our county executive, for the support that you've given us over the past, it's only been 4 years, but you can see that we have literally flooded the county with stigma-free lime green, and there's a reason behind this. This lime green represents unity. This isn't about any one agency, any one facility, any one person's name. This is about us coming together to create a more kind, compassionate, and aware Bergen County. So thank you for all the roles that you play. I'm so proud to be part of it, and I look forward to doing more great things over the next few years to come. And then I'll read my statement.
So I'm just going to read the last two paragraphs. Whereas May 21st, 2014, Bergen County Freeholders passed Resolution 594-14, declaring the County of Bergen as stigma-free zone. And since then, nearly every one of Bergen County's 70 municipalities have self-designated as stigma-free zones. And whereas the County of Bergen provide adult and youth mental health first aid training for adults to municipalities, law enforcement agencies, educational institutions, and the other agencies to teach skills to identify, understand, and response to the signs of mental illness. Now therefore, I don't have my glasses, I'm doing good. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders do hereby declare May 2018 as Mental Health Month in the County of Bergen, the state of New Jersey.
Thank you so much.
So we'd like to get a picture of everyone, and then I'm going to call up the Big Cheese, our county executive. So. Start singing. So if you'd all just stay for 1 second, as you know, I just want to bring up our county executive who, when presented with the idea, it just didn't poo-poo it. He got on board right away with it, and got on board with everyone that's behind us. And it's because of people like him that we get things like this done, besides people like you. So he was very supportive, and he got right on board. So I want to introduce our county executive, James Tedesco.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. While we're here tonight to recognize Mental Health Month, we also need to recognize the people that are the ones that make this happen. And while Michelle leads a great group of people here, there are many, many people sitting in the audience tonight that help us get that message out. There's one person in particular. I talk about this all the time. One person can make a difference in people's lives. One person. That person that brought stigma-free to this county is sitting here tonight, Mary Ann Uzzi. Mary Ann had an idea. She walked across the street, came to my house, and asked me, what do you think of this, and can you talk to the present mayor of Paramus, because I'd like to meet him and propose that Paramus be the first town in Bergen County to be stigma-free. Well, Paramus was. It then grew and blossomed to where Bergen County became the first county to be stigma-free. And I'm proud of that, as I know all of my colleagues on the Freeholder board and everyone here that was wearing green tonight is proud of that. But it's one person had one idea that now is making a difference, not only in Paramus, not only in Bergen County, the entire state of New Jersey is now on the path to becoming stigma-free. These are the kind of things that we, as elected officials, will continue to embrace, continue to promote, continue to do, because we're making a difference in people's lives. We're impacting people every day, making sure that mental illness is understood as a disease that should be treated no different than any other disease. And I'm proud to stand here as the leader of this county with all of you championing that effort. So, Michelle, in recognition of Mental Health Month 2018, I'm not going to read the entire proclamation. It's long. But let me just read the last. And just so that you all know, there is a sentence here that says vast majority of the 70 towns. There's 69 out of 70. Whereas the County of Bergen will continue to lead the way in promoting an understanding and supportive communities by working to eliminate the stigma associated with mental illness throughout Bergen County. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, James J. Tedesco III, Executive of the County of Bergen in the state of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim May 2018 as Mental Health Month. Thank you. What about the two schools?
Oh, we're doing
So how do you want to do the two schools?
She needs to speak, right? Let her talk.
So I want to just read a couple of words from two family members that couldn't be here. All of my colleagues and elected officials here hear me advocate all the time alongside of all of you who came this evening. I just want to take a moment and read this, because this is really what it's all about. This is why we wear the green. This is why we come to work every day. And this is why we will not stop until all 70 towns are active in our stigma-free initiative, and anyone who lives with the disease of mental illness feels supported by their neighbors and not ashamed to seek treatment. That's what this is about. So, dear Michelle, I am writing as I cannot attend the upcoming Board of Chosen Freeholders meeting. I want to express my thanks and recognition for the support program that I attend. It is held in Care Plus in Paramus and is led by Lara Zucker of Comprehensive Behavioral Health Care. We have been, in quote, dealing with my son's mental illness for the last 3 years and have seen many doctors during this time. Although we received several diagnoses for my son, no one could really address my feelings nor provide comfort as I struggle to navigate this new life in our family post my son's diagnosis. The support group is wonderful. I am with other parents who are also struggling to make sense of their loved one's illnesses. Mental illness is so challenging as there is no one rule book or prescription that will apply to all. It's trial and error over and over again. Attending this program had made a wonderful difference to me, as it has made me feel less alone, anxious, and most importantly, Lara provides concrete ways of how to help deal with different situations that arise. Oops, sorry. I view the support group as an important part of my well-being and hope that it continues to receive funding indefinitely. Sincerely, a mom from Emerson. The funding that our county executive and Board of Chosen Freeholders award to community mental health programs across our county, this is one example of why that funding is so vital. Dear Michelle, I'm sorry that I will not be able to attend on Wednesday. I would like you to know how much my son and I are appreciative of the opportunities that he has through comprehensive behavioral health care. After a long-term hospital stay, my son was ecstatic to find out he would be moving to a CBH care group home in Rutherford. He was welcomed there by a caring staff. He has been attending groups at CBH Care in Hackensack, which have been and continue to be very helpful. Some of his classes which he attends are helping him in ways I could never imagine to be possible. Of course, he has ongoing problems, but it is a godsend knowing that his life is being helped and enriched as a result of the very competent, caring, and dedicated staff. He is being helped. This is a work in progress, as he tells me when I see him on the weekends. Personally, the help doesn't stop with my son. CBH has been an enormous help to me personally as a mother who really didn't know where to turn, and then after many years of struggling on our own, found help and support through the support group, the family support group. Please, please, please continue to support these programs and more. It is very important to individuals and their families to have the support to cope with the everyday challenges that mental illness creates. Thank you very much, Freeholders and County Executive. I am forever grateful to all of you, a mom from Saddle River. I think that speaks volumes. So I want to just call up, we have many partners, but I would like to call up Jose Ortiz, who's the chairperson of our county's mental health board. And he's going to talk a little bit about the aid to mental health funding and invite some of our partners who are working so hard to eliminate stigma, prevent stigma from ever forming. 2 school districts. Bergen County was the only county in the entire state of New Jersey to have 2 school districts recently awarded the Governor's Council on Mental Health Stigma Award. They're both present tonight, and we will call them up for a formal presentation. But first, I'll give Jose an opportunity to say a few words.
Thank you. 4 years ago, I was in this room where this county proclaimed Bergen County be stigma-free. Now, stigma-free doesn't mean the services are free. They come with a cost. And since I've been on the board, this county has shown a commitment, an investment in our mental health safety net system. There's been an increase every year. And that's important because we're talking about not just the consumers here in this room and their families. 1 in 4 Americans will suffer from mental illness. But it's also a quality of life issue for everyone who lives and works in Bergen County. So the investment of that money goes to serve everyone. And what is true leadership? True leadership is that there's action behind your words. So if we say we're stigma-free, then let's put our money where our mouth is. And this county does that every year. So we are extremely grateful. The Mental Health Board, a resident of Bergen County, and everyone here for that commitment, for that investment. And because of that leadership, you have given a great example to the young people of this county. Because Ramsey School District and Passac Valley High School were awarded the Stigma Ambassador Award from the Governor's Council on Mental Health. So again, thank you. We call those school districts to come up for your great leadership, and please tell the students to keep up the good work.
Both myself and the chairman have certificates to be able to give to you, but let me just take an opportunity to thank you for doing this from a school standpoint. It's pretty impressive. The young people are going to have to continue to carry this, and what you're doing allows that to happen. And so from behalf of the 1 million people that call Bergen County their home, thank you. Thank you for helping us carry this on and the good things that you're doing for the people of Bergen County, but most of all for those people that have the disease that need this help. So, thank you. So this is a certificate of commendation honoring Ramsey School District and Pascack Hills Valley. In recognition, I was thinking of the Freeholder chair. In recognition of being honored by the New Jersey Governor's Council on Mental Health Stigma, and appreciation of your dedication to reducing the stigma around those with mental health illness within the County of Bergen, signed this 16th day of May 2018. County Executive Jim Tedesco. Thank you.
So the county executive really said it very well. But what an honor, right? What an honor for both of you and for everyone that's out here today. And I can speak for all my colleagues on the Freeholder board that every single one of them up here is behind you, is behind mental health, and is behind stigma-free. And we don't waver when it comes to that. That is something that is a priority of the county executive and the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders, and will remain a priority for as long as we're here. So thank you very much for everything you do. So we have the same thing. I think it's the same wording. So I won't go through it again, but I'll ask my colleagues on the Freeholder board to come up so we can all get a picture with your commendations. I have one for Ramsey, which is over here, right? Okay. It's Ramsey. And for Pascack Valley, Jim. Although I'm partial to hills. So I would ask that all my colleagues please come up so we could get a photo and thank these wonderful people.
Wait for David. Who are you making fun?
No. Nobody. Me, never. Come on, Mary.
Before I continue with any freeholders, like to have any comments? No? Okay.
You want to speak?
Go ahead, Steve.
I just want to thank, like the county executive mentioned, I just want to thank you all for your efforts. It's been said a number of times that this board has committed over the last 4 years to make sure that not only that we fund it, but that we continue to increase the funding. So, echoing the sentiments of my Freeholder board, my Freeholder colleagues and the county executive, we just want to thank all the volunteers that put all the effort forward. Without your help, these things like this would be impossible. So, thank you very much.
Okay. Freeholder Ross?
I think that it's so important that all of the towns in Bergen County become stigma-free, and there is only one holdout, and I think that that mayor should be very ashamed of himself for being this.
Joe.
No!
He knows. Read the Bergen record, you'll find out. But
it's so important because having been an educator for over 40 years, I see how sometimes if a child has an issue, they can be bullied, they can be misunderstood, and their life becomes very, very difficult. At the present moment, 1 in 4 people have a serious mental issue, and we have to be very cognizant of that and get them the help that they need, and not let them feel that they are left out of our life and that they can get the help that they need. So, and I'm very, very happy that the schools are getting involved in being stigma-free, because that's where a lot of the issues that trouble children start when they have a mental issue. So thank you, Chairman.
Freeholders or?
Thank you, Chairman. To look out on this sea of green tonight really has made me smile. To see so many volunteers, to see so many people who are giving with their full hearts to help those in our community who most need it is so critical. You know, when the prior administration attempted to cut the funding to mental health across the board 25%, that's part of what propelled me to want to run in the first place and to sit up on this dais to make sure that we're protecting the funding and increasing it every single year, because these needs are increasing. We see the stresses and the strains in my community. We just lost a 16-year-old girl to suicide. It is increasing. We need to be more, you know, it's one thing to call ourselves stigma-free, but what you're doing every day to fight stigma and to educate and to bring services to the forefront is really what deserves applause. And so we are so honored to honor you this evening, but we are so thrilled to work alongside of you to continue to raise our voices and raise attention to the need for mental health services and more education. So thank you for all that you do.
Anyone else? Freeholder Amoroso?
So many people have suffered in silence with mental illness for so long, and this is all about consciousness raising. It is just the best thing, and we thank you for it.
I just want to say thank you, and I just have to commend you for how much this program has evolved. Last year, I think we were in the 40s in amount of towns, and here we are at 69. So you have really worked hard, and you have really made this possible for the entire county, and especially for the schools, because it's best to educate our children when they're young, so you don't stigmatize all the other classmates, and they learn and they educate themselves. So thank you again for everything you do.
Anyone else? Okay. Thank you once again. Like all my colleagues have expressed, and I expressed down there, we really appreciate everything you do, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. Okay, we have next, the Freeholder Board would like to present a commendation to Officer Roger Karen of the Montvale Police Department. Officer Karen is a Class 3 Special Police Officer assigned to the Pascack Hills High School. On Tuesday, April the 17th, 2018, he encountered a student who was choking on a piece of food. Officer Karen acted quickly to help the student by performing the Heimlich maneuver and clearing her airway. His quick actions not only prevented this situation from becoming a tragedy, but also underscores the great and selfless work done by our police officers here in Bergen County. I would like to ask you to come up and be recognized.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
How are you? Very good. I've seen you a few times drop off my daughter. Thank you very much for what you do. Thanks, Mike. I just made a little joke, so if you guys want to know. I've seen this guy when we have to go into the schools, and it makes you feel very secure knowing that we have people like you that are there to help our students. Being the father of a student there, which you did on that day, I know comes natural to a person like yourself, but for us, I don't think we have that wherewithal to do things that you do. And it's so important that we recognize you here tonight for what you did in saving someone's life. Is your wife here? You want to come on up? You're part of this too. also see Chief Abrams, if you'd like to come on up. Jeremy Abrams, Chief of Police of Montvale. But I have a little something that I'll read, and then I'm going to ask the freeholders to come down. Pictures, we get pictures for everything, so. So I got your name right. So it's Officer Roger Karen, Class 3 Special Law Enforcement Officer, Pascack Hills High School, in honor and recognition of your service to the public, and especially on April the 17th, when your quick actions and bravery saved a young girl's life. We from the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders just want to say thank you and show you a little token of our appreciation for what you do. Thank you.
I truly appreciate this. The most beautiful thing and the reward out of it is actually Sarah, the individual that I was able to help, is here today.
Sarah, come on up.
And there she is.
Come on up, Sarah.
I consider it a true privilege to continue my law enforcement career with the Montvale Police Department and working for the borough of Montvale. Truly very genuine, good people that are there. It's a complete joy every day for myself to wake up and go to work and spend the rest of my career in the high school with the kids. Like Chief Abrams, I was a DARE officer, and that's really something that, that's sat with me throughout my whole career, and I love being there. So it's been it's a wonderful thing to be able to receive this, but every day when I go to work is the true joy of it all right there. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I just want to say that maybe I'm biased, but I feel in Montvale we have the best police department in the county, Chief, okay? All right, I agree. And I always voted for your budget when I was on the council, just so, for people like this. Our county executive, Jim Tedesco, would also like to say a few words on your behalf.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of the people of Bergen County, as I said before, almost 1 million people that live here, I want to thank you for your dedication, your service to the people of Montvale, but also to the people of Bergen County. And while we get to recognize you for this life-saving action, you did that every day. And so thank you for that, but more so, thank you for being there when this young girl needed you. On behalf of the people of Bergen County, it's my honor to present to you a certificate of commendation to Officer Roger Karen in recognition of your life-saving action and your commitment to the health and safety of the students of Pascack Hills High School.
Well, it's my honor to have Roger come work for us. For those of you who don't know, Roger was a captain in Wickliffe Lake, a 30-plus year career in Wickliffe Lake, and when we started the Class 3 special program, Roger was already a security guard at the school, and he was the immediate first choice to become a Special Law Enforcement Officer 3, which is the police officers who can only be in the schools, and it was the best choice ever made, and it bore fruit in the incident on was April 17th. So to Roger, thank you so much. Thank you on behalf of the Montvale community and the Montvale Police Department.
Hi, I would just like to give a really big, loving thank you to Officer Karen. He truly did save my life that day. I give all the glory to him and God, and without him and without God, I wouldn't be here, so thank you.
So in 1 second, I'm going to bring the mayor up. I just want to ask the Freeholder board to come on down and take a picture with our lifesaver and in our life savee. So.
Come on out this way.
Just come on up here and get out in the front. We don't want to block Steve. So now that I'd like to ask the Montville Mayor, he'd like to say a few words. If the Montville Mayor and Councilwoman would come forward, or if there's any other members from the Montville Council, please come forward. This is Mayor Michael Gasali from the Borough of Montville.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. County Executive. First to start, we are a stigma-free town. I have to tell you that. We are not the 70th town. So we're here to celebrate a happy occasion. And I had a chance to watch the video when Officer Karen was walking the hallway. And as he's walking, he sees Sarah in distress, facing the window. And he walked probably 2 feet, stopped, looked at her, and he realized something was wrong. He didn't think about what's the right thing to do, how to hold her, what to touch, what not to do. His training and the right thing to do kicked right in, and he went behind her and he did the Heimlich maneuver, and you can see the fry coming out in the video. And Sarah, we have to embarrass Sarah. And here we are. And I think, Mr. Chairman, Mr. County Executive, members of the board, I think this is a testament to the theory that teachers are in school to teach. We have to help the teachers do their job by giving them all the help and assistance we can do. So by having the professionals such as Officer Karen and Miller and the schools are looking into that, I think we can give them that helping hand. For this occasion, we do also have a proclamation. We were supposed to give him this on May 8th, but he had tickets to the Yankees. And we can't compete with that. So here we are, tagging along. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for allowing us to do that. Yeah. So I'll just read the last paragraph again. Now, therefore, the Borough Council and I, Michael N. Gasali, Mayor of the Borough of Montville, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, do hereby recognize with respect and gratitude Officer Roger Karen for saving the choking teen, Sarah, for his service and steadfast commitment to public safety. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
How you doing, man?
Okay. Want to do a duet? It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite songs. I wrote it at the beginning of it.
Would any of my Freeholder colleagues like to say a few words? Freeholder Voss?
This is so important. One of the things that I sponsored many, many years ago was to have school resource officers in the school. It's so important for so many reasons, and this was just one of many, many reasons why it is imperative, from my perspective, that we have trained officers in our schools. And in these times, I don't have to remind all of you how necessary it is, not only for people to perform the Heimlich maneuver and save a young lady's life, but to protect all of the people in the schools from some of the things that have been happening. And so God bless you and thank you, and I hope every school takes heed and have officers in all of the schools. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say once again, this is why you do what you do, for reasons like this, and this is why we do what we do, and we stand behind law enforcement, and we stand behind our first responders. We stand by all of the people that make a difference in everyone's lives, and your training. This is what we look to do. We make sure everyone is trained, and your training really, really came in handy here. Of course, you save someone's life. And for us, I mean, we could take the classes, but for the law enforcement, it's an everyday thing, and there's never a doubt, and you're always right there when you need it. And personally, I just want to say, you know, having a daughter in that school, it is so, it's so humbling for me, and it's so, I feel so safe that individuals like yourself and Matt Miller are in our school to help our young ones. So, again, thank you for what you do every single day. Thank you what you did for 30-some-odd years as a captain at Woodcliff Lake. And thank you, law enforcement. Thank you very much. Did you take my glasses, Ed? Okay.
Yeah. It don't work.
Okay. Okay. Well, before we have before us tonight Resolution 41618, a resolution authorizing the adoption of the 2018 budget. I would like to invite the county executive to come speak regarding the county budget.
Did you leave them up there, maybe?
Mr. Chairman, members of the Freeholder Board, I stand before you here tonight proud of the work we have done on this budget for over the budgets over the past 4 years. Today, we are enacting a budget with your approval that benefits and supports all the people of Bergen County with zero increase in the county tax rate. I say we because this has truly been a team effort. When I took office, I asked my colleagues on the Freeholder Board to be my partners in building a better Bergen County. By emphasizing strategic long-term planning, we've been able to maximize fiscal control and flexibility in terms of where and how our tax dollars are spent. As a result, we have earned the highest bond rating available, AAA, from Moody's Investor Services 4 years in a row. Today, on your desks, was the latest report from Moody's. As the CFO spoke with them and they issued their 2018 spring report that gave us not only the AAA rating, but a rating of very stable that allows us to continue to support the important programs and projects and services that we all want to continue here in Bergen County. The rating enabled us to refinance existing county debt at lower rates, generating savings for our taxpayers. We've established innovative revenue-generating partnerships with organizations like the United Nations. We've secured dozens of shared service agreements with municipalities and school boards to reduce the burden of local taxes on our residents. Those shared services have generated revenues that have never been seen before here in Bergen County. That is one of the reasons why we didn't have to raise additional funding to support the funds for the budget, because we have new shared services. At the same time, Bergen County's real estate values continue to rise because people want to live here and they want to start or grow a business here. As you all know, we've talked considerably about quality of life and what it means to the people of Bergen County, but also what it means to corporations when they look at moving their business here. Just recently, we had an outstanding example of that, where an engineering firm chose to locate relocate here in Bergen County from New York and brought 150 engineers to Bergen County. And when I talked to them and their CEO, they talked about what Bergen County offered, not only their business, but their employees for quality of life. We know that Bergen County is the best place to live, work, and raise a family. And this budget makes strong investments in the programs and initiatives that help us maintain the quality of life our residents expect and deserve. When you put all those things together with prudent tax management, we're able to deliver a responsible budget that looks out for our residents and their wallets while providing the same levels of services that you all and we all agree on. As a result of our efforts, Bergen County's 2018 budget funds our priorities while maintaining the second lowest tax rate in New Jersey. Some of the priorities that we agreed to was $73.9 million in education appropriations, a living wage of at least $15 an hour for every county employee who works 40 hours a week, an increase in our investment in mental health services, as we've just talked about, supporting for infrastructure projects, including road resurfacing and facility upgrades. This year, we will spend almost $17 million on the resurfacing of our county roadways to make them safer and to make the ride for the residents of Bergen County smoother. Continue to support the programs we've expanded that serve Bergen County's children, seniors, and especially veterans. Investment in the parks and open space within the county park system and throughout our municipality. As you know, we've just purchased our sixth golf course, and we've just purchased land in Mawa for additional open space. This is about giving people the ability to enjoy the tranquility of our park system, to be able to travel on the pathways, to look at birds and other types of habitat that are in our county. It also provides an educational opportunity. Ramapo College will partner with us to use that land to have their students go across onto our property that we've just purchased and identify the types of species of animals and birds and waterfowl that are there, so that the students get an educational benefit out of that. These are the things that you and I all agree on, that making Bergen County a better place is something we all care about. We will not just do that for one group, we will do it for everyone, because 1 million people deserve to be treated equally. No one person, no one group deserves to be treated differently than others. We will prioritize it based on the needs of the people of Bergen County, and we will then deliver. I want to close by saying thank you. On behalf of the administration, on behalf of our county employees, and all Bergen County residents, I want to especially thank Freeholder Gans. David, your thoughtfulness, your leadership, your guidance, not only as leader and chair of the Budget Committee, but as my friend and as someone that I've continued to look up to, thank you. I want to thank all of our colleagues for working diligently, giving up early mornings and late nights to make responsible choices on behalf of the people that we serve. 8 o'clock was not too early to have a meeting. Though, Joan, it was tough.
Very debatable.
I made it.
I'm so proud of the way we've worked together and as a team to deliver a budget that meets the needs of nearly 1 million residents and builds a better Bergen for all of us without raising a single penny of county taxes. Thank you.
Thank you, County Executive. I'd like to entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public for comment on Resolution 41618 only. May I have,
So moved. Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carry unanimously approved. We will now have the hearing of the general public on agenda item 416-18 only, with a 3-minute time limit in effect in accordance with Bergen County Freeholder bylaws. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the board attorney will announce that the time has expired. Would anybody like to speak on Resolution 416-18 only?
That's the budget.
That's the budget.
Budget.
Figure you would figure that out, okay.
No speakers, Mr.
Seeing,
Chairman.
seeing no, may I have a motion to close the meeting, the public meeting on Resolution
So moved.
416-18?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. At this time, I would just like to ask for a motion for a 5-minute recess so our stenographer can
relax.
can recharge her batteries. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll have a 5-minute recess. Thank you. Can I have a motion to go back into session?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Point of order,
What's the
Field
point of
against.
order? I'm sorry? Okay, so I have a motion to go back into session. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. We'll now have the hearing of the general public on agenda item. Why is it, no, it's not right.
Open the meeting.
Yeah, we'll now have the hearing of the general public with a 3-minute time limit in effect in accordance with Bergen County Freeholder bylaws. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the board attorney will announce the time has expired. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carry. We have Tammy Smith. She leave? Okay, there was a stigma free. She may have left. What is this? Anonymous?
Anonymous, yeah, that's okay. Just, there's a speaker who may come forward now.
Okay, thank you. That's why we have attorneys. We advise them. Thank you.
Well, it's still a very touchy subject topic for me. My family member right now, who I love dearly, is in the hospital for the 4th time this year for mental illness. And the concerns that I have is that when some of the consumers, patients are discharged, there's not a place for many of them to go. So they end up back into the house, into the family life, and it's very, very difficult for families to cope, for families to take care of them. They do need care, especially right after hospitalization. It's very hard. There are some consumers, and I am a member of the parent support group or family support Thursday nights with Lara Zucker and there's Scott, who work with comprehensive behavior care, and they are tremendous helps, but their hands are tied. There really isn't residential housing, once you get from the acute care hospitalization, discharge, and out they go again. Many of them really, truly need guidance, they need the counseling, they need so much help that families can't provide for them. And again, it becomes the revolving door. They end up back in the hospital again. For my loved one, it's the 4th time in a year. And it's just getting to be way too much. And I do worry, because each time these consumers are in the hospital, a little bit more of their self-esteem is peeled away. And you see it. You can see it. So that's my concern. I just had to express it. And I do want to remain anonymous, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Lisa Gladwell? She may have left also. Nope, she's here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lisa Gladwell, and I'm a resident of Bergen County, a very proud resident of Bergen County. I live in River Edge, and I'm here tonight as part of New Jersey Recovery Advocates. We are a grassroots volunteer organization that endeavors to end the stigma regarding addiction. And I myself am in recovery for 16 plus years. And what we want to do is be able to make recovery a program of attraction, not deprivation, so that people say, we want what you have. I do a lot of volunteering in the community, and this organization, for me, is a huge part. Well, for those who do have the disease of addiction, recovery is the only solution. It's a disease. And for that reason, this is the work that we do is very important. I consider it life-saving, life-changing, and not only for those who are afflicted with the disease, but for their family members, for their communities, for their counties, for society and whole. And I'm here because to say thank you. And on April 15th, we had our first annual Ride into Recovery Poker Run and Picnic here in Bergen County. And I would ask, and I asked in the beginning, and I'm sure some of you are wondering, what's the poker run? A poker run is a motorcycle event. It's a contest, it's not a race. But what happened, how this came about is we're a statewide organization. We bring a rally and a walk every year to Liberty State Park. But many of us do live in Bergen County, so we started to do some local outreach. And through that community outreach, they said, we said, what can we do for you? And one of the things that were talked about was helping to get treatment for those who would not otherwise be able to access it, those without Medicaid, those without Medicare or insurance, those who have no other options, and they're out there. So I contacted Pete Basolis, the county executive. It's wonderful. And immediately they got on board. Because of you guys, your partnership, we partnered with you. And because of that, we received 11 clinical scholarships.
Wow.
For that's 11 Bergen County residents that will have the opportunity to have their life changed and possibly saved. That's 11 families that are impacted. That's 11 neighborhoods, communities. That's a healthier Bergen County. I am so proud to be a resident here right now. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
3 minutes, Ms. Gladwell.
Excuse me?
3 minutes.
Okay. I just wanted to say, I have a letter for all of you. It's the same letter. And also the county executive, the Parks Department, Pete Basolis, the county executive, all wonderful, very, very helpful. And together, that was, as you heard me say, it's the first annual. So together, we are saving lives. Thank you for your support.
Clyde and Endo?
Once again, Shelburne, it's Clayton Nidrew.
Listen, that was close enough. All
Yeah,
right.
that was good to say.
who it was.
K-L-E-I-D.
I told him how to pronounce it.
Oh, yeah. As you may know, I am the student council president at Cliffside Park High School. So I would just like to thank the volunteers, the Freeholder board, the county executive, and everyone involved today in making Bergen County stigma-free on behalf of the students of Cliffside Park. And I also wanted to tell you guys, just in case I don't see any of you beforehand, I hope you have a very wonderful and blessed Memorial Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I know why you're the president of the student council. Speak very well. Thank you, sir. Norman Levy.
Thank you. It's a tough act to follow, mental health and Heimlich's important issues. Anyway, I'm Norman Levy. I'm a resident of Fort Lee, and I'm one of 2 pickleball advocates that have been working with the Parks Department for exactly 1 year on the pickleball issues taking place within our county park facilities. First and foremost, I want to express our appreciation for the county's action in deciding to allot us 6 permanent pickleball courts at Overpeck Ridgefield Park. When we were told about this on February 21st, we were very much relieved that our days of being harassed by tennis players at Overpeck Leonia had finally been solved. Unfortunately, that is all the good news I can report. The rest of the story is nothing but bad news. After no communication since February 21st, in very late April, we were mistakenly contacted by a court tile manufacturer asking us to pick out the colors for the new pickleball courts. After seeing their brochure, it was at this time that we first realized that the Parks Department was planning to put in modular sport tiles rather than properly fixing the deteriorated asphalt courts at Overpeck Ridgefield Park. On April 25th, we immediately notified the county executive, Freeholder Tonelli, and the Parks Department of our grave concerns about what was being proposed to be installed. We gave them our reasons and testimony from people who had experienced these types of inferior courts. We were then stonewalled with no meaningful responses from any party. Just over 1 week later, on May 1st, the county issued a press release informing us that they were going ahead with modular sport tiles. Listen to what the press release says, quote, "The county's team of landscape architects worked with both pickleball advocates and industry experts," end quote. We are the pickleball advocates, and I can assure you that not once were we contacted by landscape architects on any of these issues. We would like to know who these landscape architects are, who are the pickleball advocates and industry experts. It certainly wasn't us. Your Parks Department entered into an expensive contract to build courts without having the courtesy of speaking with the so-called pickleball advocates. You have to ask yourself, as we did, why, after committing to redo the tennis courts, would they not speak to us? The only thing we come up with is that they're trying to bury the facts of how deteriorated the 8-year-old tennis courts are at Overpeck Ridgefield Park, and decided to just cover them up
3 minutes, Mr. Levy.
with the tile overlays. Thank you. I just want to finish by saying shame on them for spending $109,000 of our taxpayer money. You should have given it to the mental health people.
I agree. I finally agree on something.
Melanie Gluck. Melanie, I'm sorry.
I got that one right.
Good evening. I have a question. And the question is, if while I've been sitting here all evening and everybody was saying that Bergen County is such a big county, a profitable county, a very strong county, and you want to make it a magnet county, then why is Bergen County one of just 5 other well, actually there are 5 counties, including Bergen County, that doesn't have pickleball courts? Every other county does. And yet, we want to make this a bigger place, a better place to go play, just like the tennis people. Now, these courts, I was there, and I see that these courts are falling apart. I have a rod in my leg, my right leg. I broke my leg. And so I don't want to break another leg. And so while you're going to put on these tiles, how do you know that the sun or the rain or any other inclement weather is going to either pick it up, it's going to break? You already know that you're putting it on asphalt that's already cracked. That's a liability, and you know it and you're doing it. I know I'm not going to play there. I know I'm going to fall. And I can guarantee you that these people, the ball will bounce somewhere else, you'll fall, you'll slip, somebody's going to hurt themselves. So I want to know how it is that you did all of this work, but you didn't say anything. I mean, I've been sitting here for a year, listening to all of this. So I want to know why you spent my money. Where's it going? Any questions? Any answers? Any responses?
I guess we will respond to everything at the end of everyone's comments.
Okay. You
Thank
spent $12 million, parks and golf courses.
Michael Tillman.
Well, I'd like to say thank you for coming. Last time I was here was in January. I'd like to acknowledge the chairperson, Mr. Sullivan, and the vice chairwoman, Ortiz, and the county executive. Thank you for being here. Last time I was here, we spoke about having pickleball courts, and nobody plays on an uneven surface. If any of you play tennis, you can imagine a ball hitting a surface that's a grid. It doesn't bounce true. So the pickleball court solution that you've come up with is not a solution at all. My suggestion would be, and I know you're not going to like this, think about taking all the tennis courts that are there that are even and smooth, giving those to us and giving the tennis players the uneven surfaces. Think about it for a moment. You have 2 tennis players on one court, otherwise you have total of 8 pickleball players on that exact same space. How do you think the tennis players would respond? You'd have this room full of irate tennis players if you gave them the bad courts and told them to go play tennis on these courts. The county executive said that we didn't raise any money, didn't raise taxes last year. Personally, I would approve a slight raise if we get air conditioning in this room. The other thing that the county executive said, no pun intended, was that the money for roads to become safer and smoother. Well, the pickleball courts you just put in place are not safe and they're not smooth. They might be level, but our other spokesperson said the exact same thing that I'm about to say. It's going to be an uneven surface. It's going to lead to injuries instead of preventing injuries. Let me just quote that the resurfacing, here it is, the latest in surfacing technology designed by a team of landscape architects. Did I say that right? Architects. It does say that in your announcement, that you had architects do this. They didn't talk to any of the pickleball players. They probably didn't talk to any of the tennis players. Thank you very much for your time. And Joan, last year, I told you I'd give you a free lesson. I will not teach you over at Overpack in Leonia, because I don't want you to get hurt. Thank you very much.
Ken Leon, huh?
Good evening. My name is Ken Leong, and I've lived in Ridgefield for 5 years. I again appreciate the opportunity to come before this board of freeholders to talk about pickleball. When I last spoke January 17th, I detailed how pickleball is played, both in Bergen County and around the state and in other places. Today, I would like to pose several questions to the board as it relates to the conversion of 3 tennis courts into 6 pickleball courts, which I know all the pickleball players in this room and here in spirit wholeheartedly thank this board for its support in facilitating its construction. To wit, I refer to the modular sport tiles being proposed to overlay the concrete asphalt surface on the existing tennis court that the county announced on its press release, May 1. First, why has Bergen County, through its park department, decided to build pickleball courts that deviate from the norm of accepted construction recommended by every pickleball authority around the country, including the U.S. Pickleball Association? Second, why would the parks use landscape architects to advise them on how to build a pickleball court? Third, who were the pickleball advocates who were consulted? And fourth, who were the industry experts that they used? Regarding question number 1, why modular tiles were chosen over repaving the asphalt is perplexing. My business, in part, deals with environmental construction. I have found that institutions such as utilities, universities, and particularly government agencies never, ever innovate when it comes to new construction techniques and materials until all have been thoroughly vetted and tested over a prolonged period of time, which modular tiles have not. Moreover, why use a construction flooring that will not be sanctioned by any pickleball governing authority? I can only surmise after experience in this kind of situations that other considerations came into play, and this decision which probably should not be speculated in public. Question number 2, using a landscape architect to opine on the design of a sports court is akin to asking a plumber how to build a wastewater treatment plant, or an electrician how to start a generating station. I can only say the choice of this group is dumbfounding and totally inexplicable. Number 3 begs the question as to why it is not logical to consult with the pickleball advocates that have been advocating for pickleball courts since last May. And finally, on question 4, I wonder if the industry experts consulted were not actually the ones selling the tiles and doing the contracting for installation. Ladies and gentlemen of this board, there appears to be little evidence of adequate or proper due diligence by the Parks Department in opting for modular tiles. And while it might be convenient to just chalk this decision up in what appears to be business as usual bureaucratic hubris or plain dumbass, the very high likelihood of failure makes the installation a total misuse and squandering of taxpayer funds.
3 minutes, sir.
Which I might add, I contributed considerably in 2017. I urge this board to take the opportunity now, before the Parks Department implements this ill-advised and costly installation, to deliberate long and hard before we reach the point of no return on construction of these pickleball courts. Thank you very much for your attention.
Iris Borman.
Good evening. Iris Borman, B-O-R-M-A-N, Cliffside Park. I am delighted that the county will not be raising taxes to go forward in the fiscal year 2018-2019. With that said, on your agenda tonight, I noticed that over $12 million is being allocated for parks and golf. Now, that's a huge sum of money. And I'm just wondering if that includes artificial turf for golf, because that's tantamount to the decision that was made to put down sports tiles on pickleball courts. You wouldn't put down artificial turf on a golf course, but you will put down sports tiles on a tennis court. And by so doing, you are increasing a very definite risk to us, the players who play on those courts. It is not possible to see the undulations of a badly deteriorated court when you have a flat surface of tiles on it. You only get to know that it's deteriorated when you step into it or when you're running into it and then fall flat on your face. So it befuddles all of us how a decision was made to put in sports tiles after all of the information, all the specific, authorized, and validated information from the United States Pickleball Association was given to you, was given to the Parks Association. It's incomprehensible that all of this information was ignored. As a matter of fact, one of the, and I left the paper back there, I don't want to take up my time by running back to get it, but one of the officials, thank you, at the United States Pickleball Association, Christine Barksdale, who is the managing director of competition and athlete programs, on May 10th wrote a letter to Mr. Tedesco. And without reading the letter, I'll just paraphrase it by saying, interlocking tiles are not optimal for quality pickleball play, as we have yet to locate a system that provides a consistent bounce. While pickleball players across the country have grown accustomed to playing on a variety of surfaces, with the increasing number of locations, they are now able to be a little more selective and will be less inclined to play on a court with less than optimal value. So here we are, from last year to this year, with all the information possible given to the Parks Department, and this incomprehensible decision was made. I want to talk for a moment about liability.
3 minutes, Ms. Borman.
When we go onto a court in the county, it says play at your own risk. We take that risk even if, well, let's put it this way, we have a choice to take the risk, even though we see that the court may not be in good condition.
Please wrap it up.
But when you cover over the court so that we cannot see the cracks and rises and falls of the court, the liability then shifts to the county. Thank you very much.
Is that Irene? Yes. Eileen Glotz.
I-L-E-N-E, last name Glantz, G-L-A-N-T-Z. I will be brief. I'm a resident of Bergen County for 50 years. At Northern Valley Regional High School, I was on the tennis team. I've played tennis for all my life. Pickleball is a natural transition for people who've played tennis and segue into a less taxing sport. Why am I saying this? We have been talking this evening about safety, well-being, mindfulness, and quality of life with the mental health values that you have put forth here, okay? We spent the last hour and a half with lots of photography. The photographers are gone, okay? I'm very visual. I will tell you, as someone who has had family members with mental illness, one of the ways to alleviate mental illness, one of the most important ways is physical activity. You have a growing baby boomer constituency in Bergen County with 50 years of living here and paying taxes. I implore you to consider the facts that mental illness is one of your values, and pickleball and mental well-being is one of the tools in the tool basket that you have at your disposal to do the right thing. As my fellow pickleball colleague said, 5 out of the 21 counties in the state of New Jersey have public pickleball courts with flat asphalt surface. We are, Bergen County, the only one out of the 5, the largest, with over 1 million residents that doesn't have it. I implore you to please consider what these other colleagues are saying. I will also share with you, as a resident of Fort Lee, I have put an individual pickleball court on my property, and it costs less than $10,000. I love this community. I ask that you please consider what is being said here tonight. I don't want to think about if the wrong thing is done.
3 minutes, Ms. Glantz.
That's all I have to say, Mr. Florio.
Thank you, Ms. Glantz.
John Nicola.
N-I-C-O-L-A, John. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This will be very brief. I've been a Cliffside Park resident for many years, playing pickleball for several years now. Would you play tennis on something like this? No, I don't think you would. Pickleball, outdoor pickleball, was invented to be played on a tennis-like surface, which means concrete or asphalt. We still have a perfect opportunity to resurface the deteriorated asphalt tiles over on Overpeck, Richfield Park. If this stuff goes down, I'm not going to play on it. I'm sure most of the people over here are not going to play on it. So we implore you, do whatever's possible to undo this contract if you've actually signed it and entered into it, and put a real pickleball court, something that the U.S. Pickleball Association would approve, so we can have professionals up here, give clinics, have tournaments, not have they won't sanction an event on crap like this. Thank you very much.
Danny Napoli.
Danny Napoli, Napoli. I worked at Bellevue Hospital for 30 years, and I was in charge of patient recreation. And many, many times, we take the patients up to the roof. Tennis courts, volleyball courts, basketball courts. On the other side, we had a playground for the children. It was used constantly. What I saw over the years, though, contractors coming back, having to redo the job that the city gave them. They did a cheap job, New York City style. Well, they say, Dan, you can't use the roof for 30 days, 40 days. We're redoing the roof. I said, you do this almost every year. Can't you get it right? So what I ask you is to please, this project, let's do it right. I don't want the job shut down every year for 30 days, 40 days, because of, we have to do it again, because it wasn't done right the first time. That's all. Anytime government gets their hands onto something, for some reason, it doesn't work. I don't understand it. So I just say, let's do it right. That's all I ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Napoli. Barry Goldman.
Goldman. I've been a lifelong resident of Bergen County, living in several towns and now in Tenafly. First thing, when I heard about the tile courts that were proposed, I went to a tennis expert, one of my sons, who was a four-year varsity player at Tenafly and captain for 2 years and also played club tennis in college. And he said, one of the things that you have to worry about is if you fall, you get hurt. He said, if you look at the tile that John held up, if you fall on that, you're going to scrape your arms, you're going to scrape your legs. You know, you're normally playing pickleball or tennis, in shorts, in short sleeves. You know, it's going to hurt if you scrape that. And I, ask you if you want to, as the tile's being passed around, see what you think of that.
I think
so
asphalt hurts too,
that,
right?
that's a key concern, aside from some of the other things that people have said, but just a safety standpoint. Nobody's going to play on it. And while you're trying to decide what to do about making permanent pickleball courts, a year ago, last spring, we were told by the Parks Department that they would paint lines on some of the tennis courts so we could play pickleball a little more efficiently. That hasn't happened yet, and I implore you to try and do that on a few of the tennis courts. What do we have to do now when we go to Leonia Overpeck? We have to put together portable nets. We have to take these yellow strips of plastic strips that we put down to mark the lines. Those, you could slip on them a little bit. Two, when they hit the lines, they bounce and take awkward bounces. So we're not playing, we're still enjoying the game, but it can impact the game. It also takes us time to set up and clean up because we have no permanent place to play. At least if there are lines put down, it will shorten the process for us in the setup and cleanup of the pickleball. On January 9th this year, I sent all of you an email with pictures of some pickleball courts where I play in Florida, where we have a condo, and I go in the winter for part of the winter. Tennis players have said, if you paint lines on tennis courts, they're going to be distracting. Well, one of the pictures I sent was of a hard court where they have 4 portable nets on the side, lines put on for 4 pickleball courts. Professional tennis players come there. Bergen County's own Christina McHale practices there. Other women tennis players practice there. And the Bryan brothers, probably the best doubles tennis team ever, men's doubles team, has practiced on those courts. And the lines do not bother them. So while the tennis players say the lines may bother them, they really don't. If they don't bother the pros, who are very particular about it, they shouldn't bother the amateurs that are playing here.
3 minutes.
Thank you.
Marianne Berrios, New City.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here. I'm from New City, New York, and I came upon pickleball because of Bergen County offers pickleball, but Rockland County did not have pickleball. So, as you know, Rockland County residents, we spend a lot of time in New Jersey because it has a lot to offer. You talked a lot about the mental health aspect of the game, mental health is how important it is, and pickleball does a lot for mental health. There are a lot of seniors playing pickleball. A lot of seniors maybe wouldn't play sports if it wasn't for pickleball. When you play pickleball, it's a very social game. So not only do you have fun playing, you meet a lot of friends. I have so many friends now. I have more friends now than I had when I was younger because of pickleball. Not only that, but veterans also have used pickleball to overcome the the problems that they had with post-traumatic stress disorder. Families can get together to play pickleball because you could play, any age can play, from young to old. Everyone, it brings people together, but you want to bring people together in a safe environment. And those tiles have been researched by pickleball members, and I belong to a pickleball forum, and it was also brought up on there, and there wasn't a good thing to say about the tiles. So I'd love to keep coming back to New Jersey to play pickleball, and I hope you do it right the first time. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no more papers, may I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is closed to the public. I would like to, will someone please make a motion to move the following resolutions out of the consent agenda and onto non-consent in the order as listed? Resolutions 482-18, Resolution 415-18, Resolution 417-18, and 416-18. And they will be voted on prior to the consent agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none? Will the clerk, I don't need a voice. No, roll call? Good. Okay. Will the clerk read the resolutions of non-consent?
The first resolution of non-consent is 48218. It's a resolution authorizing the budget amendment.
Have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, it passes.
Will the clerk please read Resolution 415-18 by title only?
41518 is a resolution authorizing an increase of the COLA up to 3.5% and to establish a cap bank.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
7 ayes, it passes.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read Resolution 417-18?
41718 is a resolution authorizing the surrogate to exceed the county entity budget request cap.
Have a motion, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
7 ayes, passes.
Will the clerk please read Resolution 416-18 by title?
41618 is a resolution authorizing the adoption of the 2018 budget.
Have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any discussion on the motion? Will we, Freeholder Amoroso?
Yes. Again, I'm so proud that we have a budget that has a 0 tax increase. And yet, within that flat tax, we have shared services that improve things for our municipalities, including the ability to borrow money through the Bergen County Improvement Authority using our excellent AAA rating. Mental health services, we've talked about that. We've had increases in mental health funding over the last 4 years. I think it's 5% this year. You know, we support fully stigma-free, and we support it with our money. Parks, you know, we are well, yes, we're working it.
Order, please.
So, you know, we both have the wide open spaces in my hometown at the Ramapo Reservation. We have golf courses that allow people to get out there and golf. And we are, as I've said before, we are not
tax and spend. We are hold the line on taxes and improve quality of life in Bergen County by spending wisely. Thank you.
Freeholder Zor.
Thank you, Chairman. First of all, I want to thank County Executive Tedesco for championing this process and for delivering really competent fiscal management. And then that goes to Joe Lupino and the entire administration. You worked alongside with this board every step of the way, making sure that we could continue to deliver enhanced services for the residents of Bergen County while holding the fiscal line, while planning, while engaging in shared services, while figuring out how to do more with less and delivering efficient and effective government. So, County Executive, thank you for leading the way in this process. And Freeholder Gans, Chairman Gans, thank you for your leadership through 21 hearings?
19.
19 hearings. It seemed like 100.
Long time.
But
A lot of hours.
But you really, you led the way and set the tone for what was a very serious process where we questioned everything line by line and went diligently through making sure that we were delivering for the residents of Bergen County. We heard about some of our priorities. You know, I always say Steve's annoyed at hearing me say this all the time, that budgeting it represents our priorities. And this budget really delivered on our priorities. Not only did it deliver on mental health, as we heard, but it delivered on things like consumer affairs, where we have a historic partnership with Passaic County, where we're continuing to protect those most vulnerable on our committee who are being defrauded, and engaging in law enforcement, which recoups their money and really saves our taxpayers' resources. We're leading the way in educational and vocational programs. With our Workforce Development Board, and specifically for those who are uniquely enabled, which is a program that I have championed. We've continued through the 2018 budget to find and increase funding for the Bergen County Special School Service District and for programs like Project Search, which is a program for young adults in the last year of education where we partner with nonprofits and Hackensack and Holy Name hospitals to give these young people transferable job skills. Folks with disabilities usually have an employment rate in the state of New Jersey of 37%. This program, which we were piloted in the state of New Jersey, has now a 90% employment rate after the first year. And I just got word tonight that we've already placed our first 2018 graduate as well. This allows people with unique abilities to have meaningful employment opportunities where they can be sustainable, where they can get pensions and health care benefits and live full lives. So that is something I'm very proud that we were able to deliver on this board. And we also, saving and revitalizing Newbridge Medical Center is going to be the enduring legacy of County Executive Tedesco, and I think all 7 of us on this board. We've already seen an expansion of services and tighter controls on the quality of care. And the financial benefit to the residents of Bergen County is just the icing on the cake, as Newbridge is already the leader in addiction and behavioral services and is going to continue to play a role, an integral role, in fighting the opioid epidemic and tackling the stigma associated with mental illness. That's something I'm really proud of. I'm really, really proud of it that we're delivering in this budget as well, and that we're going to continue to sustain programs like Operation Helping Hand, which we engaged in with the prosecutor and the sheriff, which was, once again, a historic move to realize that we're not going to arrest our way out of an opioid epidemic, that we need to line up the treatment and that we need to line up the pieces to treat this like an illness and get the people the help that they need. So I am very proud to cast a vote in favor of this budget and to continue to work with this board and this county administration and this county executive to continue to deliver more for the residents of Bergen County and hold the fiscal line at the same time. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you. Freeholder Tonelli.
Thank you, Chairman. First, I'd like to apologize to Freeholder Gans that part of the IT upgrades, we didn't put buzzers and chairs so that we can indicate when people were taking a little bit too long. So Freeholder Zor handled a lot of the specifics on this budget. I'd like to thank the county executive, the administrator staff, Joe Lupino, Michael, Freeholder Gans for steering us all. I'd like to thank all my colleagues for all of their efforts on this year's budget. Not to get into the specifics, I just want to make a statement as far as the reason that we're here is because of the diligent work and the culmination the county executive put forth when he took office. working with us hand in hand, making decisions that were going to benefit us in the future, and they've all worked out. We've had a reduction in, or a realignment, I should say, of departments where they're better served, where they're better efficiency, and we save money. And I believe a lot of that stuff is going to benefit us moving forward. I'll be very proud tonight to vote yes on this budget. Thank you.
You done?
Yes.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Ortiz.
Wow, I guess there's little left to say, but I first want to say I'm extremely pleased and proud of this budget that the county executive and my colleagues on the board delivered with zero increase and still preserving and enhancing crucial county services for our residents. As a previous analyst in my past life for two mutual funds, what we found most critical was to have a AAA bond rating. And definitely our administration, Joe Lapino in particular.
I'm sorry, Freeholder Ortiz. Please continue.
The 2018 budget is a culmination of the past 4 years of responsible budgeting and fiscal planning, which has directly led to the Bergen County maintaining its AAA bond rating, which is the highest offered by Moody's. Refinancing of the county's older bonds of lower interest rates has saved millions in interest costs for the county as well as municipalities that partner with the county through the Bergen County Improvement Authority. We have also partnered with municipalities by initiating shared service contracts like animal control, health officers, restaurant inspections, flu vaccinations, saving towns money through economies of scale. But this couldn't be possible. This is definitely a team effort, and I want to first thank Freeholder Gans for leading the way. I mean, 19 hearings. You really did a great job, and I thank you for that and for educating us all through the process. I also like to thank Joe Lapino, Michael Kaplan, Mike Bellucci, and everyone in the administration for your hard work and help throughout the whole process. And like I said before, working together as a team, and this budget speaks volumes for our hard work, our commitment to the residents of Bergen County, where they are proud to live and work and raise their families. Thank you, and I'm very proud to vote yes on this budget.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Voss.
Thank you, Chairman. One of the things that's a big priority in my life is working together as a team. And I have to say that this Freeholder Board and our county executive and all of the people who are affiliated with Bergen County are a wonderful team, and we work well together. I want to thank the county executive for his leadership and foresight. I want to thank Joe Lapino, who I've known forever, who is a fantastic CFO. I want to thank Mike Bellucci, Mike, you know Mike. But David Gans has been the budget chair for about 12 years now. He knows budget inside out and backwards, and he has been a great leader. And one of the things that's really important to me as an educator is that the previous administration had really slashed the budget, particularly to Bergen Community College. And in the last 4 years, we have restored all of that funding and will continue, because I think Bergen Community College is probably without equivocation the best community college in the state of New Jersey, and we have 19 of them. It is the jewel in our crown, so to speak, as we refer to it. And it was so important because Bergen County has wonderful schools, and it's with the what should I say, the enthusiasm from the county executive and the Freeholder Board that we now have one of the best academies. We have a wonderful technical school. We have a wonderful vocational school, and we take care of children with special needs. But I am thrilled to pieces because at this point in time, we have created a new program called Applied Technology High School, which is going to be in Bergen County College. And it's high school kids who are going to be able to take science and technology courses. And when they graduate from this program, oh, and we have a young lady over there. Okay. It's terrific. I've spoken to some of the young people in this program, and I have to tell you that they will graduate with a high school diploma and several college credits. It's one of the things when I was a teacher I did too. Like I taught high school seniors college courses so that when they graduated from high school, they would have 6 college credits. But now this is becoming something that's going to be available, and it's wonderful that they'll be on the campus of Bergen Community, so they will have access to things that they wouldn't have in a normal high school. And I just want to say that I just have to digress a little bit. The schools are going to be doing, there's a young man in the audience right now who is going to do something with stigma-free at his high school. And if I can be any assistance, I will be happy to help you. But 1 in 4 people suffer from a serious mental condition. And we've got to be cognizant of that, and we've got to do everything. And education is one of the ways that we can solve some of these problems. And I will not talk any longer, Chairman, because you know I can talk forever. And thank you for a wonderful, wonderful budget.
Thank you, Dr. Voss. When Dr. Voss offers help, you better take her up on it. She knows what she's doing. Our freeholder and our budget chair, David Gantz.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a little technology deficiency on the microphone.
It's because Tonelli put it together.
I want to thank specifically the county executive for his outstanding leadership, his willingness to work with the freeholders as equals. He appeared before the Budget Committee on a number of different occasions. He always considered carefully the issues that were before us. I want to just talk for a brief moment about what he's done for veterans, which is a cause that is very close to my heart. Most of you know that my son Scott served in Afghanistan and subsequently, as a result of PTSD, committed suicide. Very difficult thing to talk about, but there it is. And we have veterans who, until fairly recently, were homeless and suffered from serious mental illness that accompanies that. Not only are we stigma-free, 69 out of 70 communities in Bergen County, but we also have eliminated homelessness. The county executive did homelessness on the part of veterans. This is something that is virtually unheard of, and we are the first county in New Jersey to do it, and I'm very glad to be a part of it. This administration has taken full advantage of grants, grant credits, and fully committed itself not only to curing the homelessness problem, but also taking care of the paperwork and all of the accoutrements of administering a plethora of programs that have led to not only the elimination of homelessness among veterans, but also taken important steps to give other benefits to vets, making sure that we have the ability to take advantage of every federal dollar that is available and committing the state's funds through the use of county funds, which is part of this. Let me say in conclusion, Chairman, that without the help of Michael Kaplan, without the help of the county executive, Michael Belushi, and of course, without the help and guidance of the county executive, none of this would have been possible. I will proudly cast my vote in favor of this budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholders. So I get to play cleanup, I guess, but I know a lot has been said here tonight, but tonight is a very special day. It's a special day for Bergen County that we will be delivering, the county executive along with the Freeholder Board will be delivering a 0% tax increase. It's a great day for Bergen County today. It's a great day for the taxpayers of Bergen County. And this is something that we've been working towards for the last 4 years. I mean, the budget we passed this evening, will pass this evening, is a result of a vision that began almost 4 years ago by our county executive. Jim, I'm proud to be along for the ride. People here on the Freehold Board are proud to be along for the ride, but it's not just being along for the ride, it's working together. And as a county executive, I think you've instilled the team, the leadership that a team needs. And thank you, I want to say thank you for everything you've done for that. Again, people should really understand the magnitude of what happens tonight. This is a 0% tax increase, and it's a wonderful job on your part and your staff. I want to thank Freeholder Gans, our budget chairman, for confidently and effectively leading us line by line through 19 meetings with the departments to review all budgets. Michael Bellucci, Julian Niels, Michael Kaplan, Joe Lupino, Michelle Diorgi, Mark Nichols, and Mark Shrieks. I just used his Facebook name. Mark Shrieks. Everyone has played a role. So I hope I didn't give out his Facebook name on the line.
Oh, boy.
Everybody here has played a role in doing what we do, but there's a few highlights that I want to point out personally. A few years ago, my big thing here, my part in this county was to get on board and get everyone on board with shared services, which was embraced here in this county. We've increased our focus on saving the taxpayer funds through shared service. Since 2015, our new shared service agreements have been inked with nearly every municipality, dozens of schools, school boards, independent authorities. All of this maintenance, the vehicle maintenance garage and Paramus, I mean, all of these things lead to savings. But we took it a step further. It wasn't just these type of agreements. Bergen County Health Department now has shared services agreement in effect for things like animal control, a health office, a restaurant inspections. The Bergen County Division of Consumer Affairs is a shared service with Passaic County. The list goes on, and these are the things. These are the things that we do to get to where we are, and that's why we got to where we are. It's by the forward thinking by the county executive and the board that brought us here today. We didn't forget mental health. We've seen a significant boost this year in our budget, with 5% increase in 2018. Everyone who was here for the presentations before, we see why it matters. It matters. It matters for quality of life. It matters to everybody here in Bergen County. And just a little, another shout out to the county executive, about my fifth one, there'll be a couple more, is that this marks 4 consecutive years, county executive, of increases since you took office in mental health. Thank you for that very much. Again, we didn't leave anything out. We also provide support to county addiction treatment and recovery services to address the opioid epidemic. Projects such as Operation Helping Hand, in concert with the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, aim to get people struggling with addiction into treatment instead of jail. This budget is a complete budget. It is things that we do here in Bergen County, and again, through our leadership and through our colleagues here on the Freeholder Board, I couldn't ask for a better group of people. Everyone has their opinions. Everyone's opinion gets heard, and we work to a resolution, and here's your resolution today. So thank you, everyone that was involved with our budget processing. I almost forgot Julian, did I say your name?
Yes, you did.
Julian Niels, okay. Ed Floria wasn't there, so I don't have to get him,
But thank you.
But seriously, Jim, special day for Bergen County. My Freeholder colleagues, a very special day for Bergen County. Thank you to everyone who had a hand in it. Our administrator would like to say a few words, or?
Again, I'd just like to echo the administration's sentiment and the county executive's sentiment with regard to the thanks to the Freeholder Board for being the partners through this process, because we would not be able to have gotten here if not for your help and cooperation. And not to digress, but the budget process involves a lot of tough decisions that have to be made in terms of the allocation of resources. And just hearing a lot of the discussion that was had tonight, critical, positive across the board, there were some statements that were made just with regard to the administration's decisions on how to spend money with regard to the pickleball situation in parks. And I just want to assure the people, although that there may be some disagreement over the ultimate surface that was chosen, there was a process that went into that with the Parks Department in terms of research and their efforts looking into the tile surface. I know that we're not going to here tonight convince anyone of whether they're going to be in favor of that surface or not, but there should just be dispelled the assertion by some of the speakers that there was basically a callous disregard that went into those decisions that were made. There were significant input from parks. There was significant information that was provided by parks in terms of professionals that they had contacted that provided a list of potential benefits with regard to the surface. And we understand that we're not necessarily going to convince you and have you agree with that. But I just wanted to say with regard to the resources that are being spent, there was an effort put into it, and it was not done with any level of callous disregard for the communications that I know Parks did have with pickleball advocates going back to last year. So with regard to the budget, I think we've achieved a great deal of success. And I think it's worth pointing out again that zero tax increase actually is a little bit even more special when you talk about the fact that it was a zero increase on the amount raised through the tax levy. So the contribution from the actual taxpayers compared from 17 to 18 actually went down overall. And that's quite a remarkable achievement in this time with all the other economic pressures and things that face us. But thanks again, Freeholders. Thank you, County Executive, for your vision. Mike Bellucci, Joe Lupino, I know they lived here through this whole budget process. And your efforts obviously are borne out in the product that we're able to produce. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. Being all the comments, if a roll call on 416-18, please.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Proudly votes aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Aye.
Freeholder Voss.
Absolutely.
Freeholder Zer.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Very proudly, yes.
With 7 ayes, 416-18, the 2018 county budget passes.
Thank you all. Will the clerk please read the resolutions on the consent agenda?
Resolutions of consent are 412-18 through 414-18, 418-18 through 481-18.
May I have a motion to accept the resolutions on the consent agenda as read by the
Second.
clerk? Ooh. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zer.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
7 ayes, the consent agenda passes.
Are there any resolutions pulled, postponed, or tabled? If so, will the clerk please read?
There were no resolutions pulled. However, the second read of Ordinance 1804 was pulled. Will the attorney please state the reason that the second reading was pulled?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The second reading is being heard tonight on the basis of the local finance board hearing, which is required prior to that hearing, has not yet occurred.
Thank you. We will now go on to our ordinances for first reading and introduction. Ordinances 1805 to 1814. Will the clerk read ordinance 1805 by title only?
1805 is an ordinance reappropriating the aggregate amount of $3,755,090.84, proceeds of obligations authorized by various bond ordinance of the County of Bergen, not needed for their original purposes in order to provide for other purposes in and by the county.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 1805 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call?
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zer.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, 1805 passes first reading.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read ordinance 1806 by title only?
1806 is an ordinance reappropriating $2,840,845.86, proceeds of obligations not needed for their original purposes, in order to provide for other purposes in and by the County of Bergen.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 1806 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zer.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, 1806 passes first reading.
Thank you. Will the clerk read ordinance 1807 by title only?
1807 is a bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amounts of $6,760,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $6,437,500 bonds or notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 1807 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zer.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, 1807 passes first read.
Thank you. You need a cup of water?
I'm
For the
fine.
next one, are you all right?
I'm fine.
All right. Will the clerk read ordinance 1808 by title only?
1808 is an ordinance appropriating $4,700,000 available pursuant to a grant expected to be received from the Open Space Recreation Floodplain Protection Farmland and Historic Preservation Trust Fund for the acquisition of the Emerson Golf Course by the County of Bergen.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 1808 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zer.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, 1808 passes first reading.
Thank you, clerk. Will the clerk read ordinance 1809 by title only?
1809 is a bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amount of $2,890,500 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,752,500 bonds or notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 1809 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zer.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, 1809 passes first reading.
Thank you. Will the clerk read ordinance 18-10 by title only?
1810 is a bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amount of $7,720,500 therefore, including a grant in the amount of $1,250,000 expected to be received from the State of New Jersey Green Acres Program, and authorizing the issuance of $6,162,000 bonds or notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 18-10 as read by the clerk?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zer.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, 1810 passes first reading.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read ordinance 18-11 by title only?
1811 is a bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amount of $772,500 and authorizing the issuance of $735,000 bonds or notes of the county to finance the part of the cost thereof.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 18-11 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zer.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, 1811 passes first reading.
Thank you. How you doing, Kim? You all right?
Almost.
Three more, Kim.
Will the clerk please read ordinance 18-12 by title only?
1812 is a bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amounts of $24,115,500, therefore, including 5 grants in the aggregate amounts of $13,524,519 expected to be received from the State Department of Transportation, and a grant in the amount of $100,000 expected to be received from the Bergen County Improvement Authority, and authorizing the issuance of $9,990,000 bonds or notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 18-12 as read by the clerk?
Second.
That was by Gans and Ortiz. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, 1812 passes first reading.
Thank you. Will the clerk read ordinance 18-13 by title only?
1813 is an introduction of a site plan ordinance to establish Bergen County standards for sustainable land development site plans.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 18-13 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call. I know it's getting late, guys. What's the
Freeholder
message?
Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, 1813 passes first reading.
Here we go again. Will the clerk please read ordinance 18-14 by title only?
1814 is an ordinance appropriating $3,901,309 available pursuant to a grant expected to be received from the State Department of Transportation, Local Bridges, Future Needs Program to provide for bridge improvements throughout the County of Bergen.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 18-14 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? Roll call.
Last roll call. Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans. Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, 1814 passes first read.
Okay. We will now have freeholder committee reports unless someone would like make the motion to suspend them tonight.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to suspend committee reports. However, I just want one point of personal privilege. I forgot to thank our staffs. It's okay. I forgot to thank Jared Louts,
Calm
Storm
down.
Weish, and all of our aides who worked really hard. I think that we all inadvertently forgot to thank them, especially me.
Thank you.
So I just want to thank them all. And now can I make that motion to suspend committee reports?
Yeah, we'll talk about Jared later. Yes.
I'll second that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. There being nothing further to come before this meeting, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Board as a whole.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
We all did it in unison.